You're listening to Shoe In, covering the ins and outs of all things footwear, from sneakers to heels, loafers to slippers, and every type of shoe in between. Brought to you by the FDRA, the Footwear Industries Association focused on retail, trade, politics, and fashion, helping create and enhance conversations on all things footwear. And now your footwear insiders, Matt Priest and Andy Polk.
You're a mean one, Mr. COVID. Just trying to get into the holiday feel. I don't know how you guys feel, but in my house now, it's Christmas decorations going up right and left, and Christmas music is everywhere in every room, blasting. So Christmas in full swing, holidays in full swing. Matt, how about in your house?
Of course, man. This is what happens when you're the father of little girls, right? And like Christmas music's been playing since September in my house.
Oh, buddy.
And got 4 of our 6 trees up. I got 2 more to go. So I'm feeling the season is upon me, and you know what? I'm going to enjoy it because I'm not traveling like I normally do this time of year, and I'm just going to sit back and relax and enjoy it.
Yeah, we literally just put up our Christmas tree this morning, went out and got it. And, some people seeing, oh, Christmas tree. Typically, when I'm putting it into the stand, I'm like, oh, Christmas tree. So we got it in, though. So thank goodness. Jasmine, how are you doing? Are you guys decorating in your household?
Yes. Well, see, I live alone, but I go to all other houses to help them decorate. That's how much I love Christmas. And instead of Christmas music, insert Christmas movies. I watch all Home Alone. And then, there's 25 Days of Christmas on Freedom, so I'll be watching that as well. All
right. That's same with us. I think we probably have an Excel list we probably follow every year and track down. So
I do actually. Yeah. There's like a post that has like everything you should watch.
Yeah. Funny. Awesome.
Should is such a strong term.
It is.
Well, I want to welcome a special guest to the show today. He's no stranger to the show. He's been on a couple years ago when we used to tape at FN Platform, but it's Tony Chiappetta. So hey. Chiappetta Shoes. How are you doing, Tony?
Excellent. In a cheery, merry mood right now, I guess. So can't be anything otherwise. So I'm happy. Yeah.
Awesome. So really quickly, just remind folks about your store and what you guys do. You're in Wisconsin, correct?
Yeah, Wisconsin, right on the border, right between Milwaukee and Chicago. Chiappetta Shoes, been in business since 1921. Great-grandpa came from Italy and used to make shoes. We still do pit orthics, and that's kind of the heart of what we do. And, 4 generations strong. It's been a winning bet so far. So
yeah, so tell me, we talked to everybody about what they're changing and what they're doing to adapt during COVID. What are you seeing in your store in terms of foot traffic? Obviously, you guys were ahead of the game from many other kind of independent stores, and you've had a pretty robust, e-commerce sales channels online, and I know you've done pretty well with that. But have things just shifted and changed, or are things getting back to normal? What are you seeing in your store? What do you see from your perch in the industry?
Sure. Well, it's been a crazy ride this year, as with anybody. One of the things that we definitely leveraged right out of the gate. Nobody really knew anything in March, and I sat down with my brother after a week of being partially closed. We were still fulfilling online orders, and we just said to ourselves, we can't just sit around like this. So with the whole pit orthic operation, we manufacture inserts in-house. And in the month of April, we ran kind of a special sale. Customers, still nobody really knew anything, so customers were dropping off their molds of their feet, and we were giving them like half off orthotics, and it really saved our April. And we opened up earlier than what the state kind of deemed, because we found ourselves as an essential business because of the pit orthics and their safety toe business. So we kind of got at it early. I had my whole crew back by the first week of May, and since then, it's really been it's been a combination of trying to play long ball and a short game too, where you're looking for absolutely every opportunity as possible For what got us through springtime, we had our best June and July ever, which is absolutely insane. But there were some significant opportunities that we took advantage of in the advertising game that, it was crazy. So, since then, Kenosha, I'm sure, as everybody in the entire world knew, we had riots at the end of August, and that really changed things up a lot. So, looking at the time period of that, we weren't too close to the scary part of it, but it really it significantly hurt consumer confidence and demand, and the town was boarded up consistently. Every shop in the entire town was boarded up until probably for about 2 months, and it was just crazy. And there's still shops that are boarded up, but I don't know. Thinking about it, foot traffic has been kind of coming back. Looking at summer versus the fall and start of winter, we've seen some big fluctuations where July was, you're hearing a lot of news that the virus was going down. So we normally had a clearance sale in store, couldn't do that. So we ended up doing a tent sale. First time we ever did one. And it went incredibly well, but it was pretty risky. There was a lot of extra costs, and, it went well. So, yeah.
Now, Tony, let me ask you this. As you think about the ways in which, as an independent business, you've had to come at COVID, and then you kind of consider what maybe bigger, broader, big box retail has had to do. What are some of the advantages of being the independent retailer that you are? And then maybe what are some of the challenges or maybe access to resources that you didn't have that you had to overcome because you were independent in a single store, if you will?
Sure. Well, I will say, our sales reps went to bat for us 100% right out of the gate. And, a lot of these guys, the vendor representatives, a lot of these guys, they were, not allowed to travel and things like that. But everybody was working as hard as they could at the start of April to help us figure things out, whether it was canceling orders, allowing a short-term stint on Amazon just to get channel diversification. There was a lot of moves that were being made. So looking at, the idea of being independent, we were able to be a lot more flexible. In the month of April and May, we did some just advertising things that we'd never done before, and, whipped them together in a couple of days. And we did a blood drive donation where, if you donated blood, I think it was mid-April, we gave an extra $20 off a pair of shoes. That drove some solid business. We did a Nurses Week promotion, and we just, like I said, it was looking for absolutely every opportunity as possible and trying to jump on it. And being a smaller shop, like right now we got 16 employees, so we're not tiny, but we were looking for absolutely any opportunity as possible. And I think that compared to the larger operations, our employees, they want to work, they're dedicated. And you look at some of the larger operations and you really worry about litigation. And I totally understand it, bringing employees back, and it's a tricky road. So I would say being small and independent has been
agile.
Yeah. It's been a good thing for us right now. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Now, okay, so one of the things that you are so good at, Tony, and maybe to keep the holiday cheer going, we'll pivot a little bit away from COVID.
Sure.
One of the things you're so good at is kind of thinking about the broader footwear community and trying to kind of hold us together in a variety of different formats. You're active on LinkedIn, as many of us are. Andy is super active on LinkedIn. But you also have this group on the Shoe Dogs United on Facebook. Now, I'm in a shameful way, I'm not on Facebook, so I'm not the best kind of spokesperson for this. But I want you to kind of lay it all out there. How have you built this up, and kind of what are you trying to do or accomplish to keep us together in such a format as Facebook?
Sure. Yeah. Long story short, Shoe Dogs United. If anybody's on Facebook, please just search it in the search bar, Shoe Dogs United, and join up. I got a couple of filtering questions, but the whole idea was that I wanted to bring the shoe community together. I've been active on LinkedIn for a long time, and their groups are kind of, diluted, a lot of spammy things. So started something on Facebook. That was 2017. We fast forward a few years, and we're at just right around 4,000 members. I can honestly say I've vetted pretty much all of them, and 99.9% of them are in the shoe community. It's been an awesome ride. And I would say that this year in particular, because of so much uncertainty, having a group setting where, you have vendors, you have sales reps, you got a ton of retailers, you got a lot of designers and developers in there. It's been a godsend for a lot of people. And I don't say that to be, boastful or anything, but we have come up with different ideas, whether it was, best practices for shooting a Facebook Live to drive some sales, or just talking about, marketing and what's working and what's not. And, there's a lot of people that are kind of active members, but that don't comment. So just looking at the interaction of the group, it's a real high interaction, and you might not see as many comments or likes, but, I hear from people all over the country that say, hey, this has been a very helpful tool for us. And I'm proud to be a part of that. And, it's something that I'm grateful for. So it's been a wild ride. And, as a community, at the end of the day, we're all competition with each other. But, there's a very good amount of idea sharing that goes around with that too. So.
Yeah, and I'd be really interested to hear over the last, 12 months, what has changed in the conversations, Tony? I mean, obviously last year we were looking at, as an industry, record sales going into December. This year we're looking at some brands are doing quite well in this environment. Some brands aren't. Some retailers are doing okay. Some aren't. There's definitely a divide in the industry. For a number of reasons, but how has the conversation shifted over the last 12 months? What are we hearing about topically? And then I'd really be interested to hear the tone of it. Is the tone now versus where it was in March? Are the tone of the conversations more optimistic heading into next year, do you think?
There's been a lot of conversations this year at the start of everything, going back to April. The PPP loan information was really driving the conversation. How can we take advantage of it? Is this going to be repayable, or do we have to repay it? Is it going to be forgiven? How to participate? Honestly, I was amazed, and this goes into your local banking and things like that. I was amazed at how many people were not able to participate right away. That was sad to see. It was crazy, but I was encouraging everybody, talk to your local legislators, talk to your state people, call as many people as you can to get involved with that. So that was really driving the conversation when people were scrambling. Something that just popped up recently that, goes to the current situation that we're dealing with, but also pretty much comes to light every end of November, December holiday season, is kind of the direct consumer business. Within the group, I can comfortably say that there's at least 1,000 to 1,500 people in the retail community, independent retail community. That's probably the largest contingent of Shoe Dogs United. And the conversation about direct to consumer always sparks up because, you got your discounts for the holiday season, Thanksgiving time, and that carries through. Whether it's right or wrong, the biggest problem that we see is always map violations from a vendor. And that's what, really sparks people off. If a vendor has discounts that, the product's already on markdown, not many people are going to complain about that. But when you see vendors violating their own map policies, that always sparks up some heated conversation within the group. So that's been the soup du jour of lately. So, yeah, and having that conversation has transitioned into me having a lot of private conversations with individuals that we're talking about, how can we leverage this group that we've got and help our whole community out. And we've been talking about possibly setting up, something like a trade union or a large buying group that could get, 200, 400, 500 retailers involved and, look at opportunities to create better price protection, not to violate any laws or anything like that. We'd obviously get some lawyers involved and just make sure we have the right language, but, look at margin builders and look at opportunities where you don't have, a vendor bastardizing the price point early and just looking at protection. So, yeah, I think that's on my plate for early next year. I'm really excited about it. I've got some good people that I've been talking to, and that's next up for Shoe Dogs United. I'm really excited.
Yeah, that is exciting. And it's such a cool platform. And I think one of the things we've learned as an association this year, and we were kind of pre-built for COVID, not even knowing COVID was hitting, was we are communicating now with our members more than we ever have. And we are staying on top of things and just connecting with people. And I think the Shoe Dogs United is such an important aspect of a broader connectivity point for the industry, particularly with furloughing and disruption and personnel being shifted around. To have that foundation of communication, I think is vitally needed. Now, Tony, let me kind of pivot more to the product aspect of what you do. One of the things we always are constantly hearing about is how strong casual's doing, how slippers are killing it, how Crocs is killing it, how hiking boots and outdoor product is killing it. Are you seeing that in the independent within your store? And then do a compare and contrast for me about what you're selling in store versus what your e-commerce orders. Is there any difference between the two? Are you seeing a different kind of customer participate with each channel?
It's pretty ubiquitous. The shopping behavior between in-store and online, whether it's our Amazon channel or our own website, it's pretty ubiquitous. And it's been interesting. A lot of our casual dress type products, and even we canceled a lot of our dressier things. It has all been slippers and athletic that has really been driving the business. The biggest problem right now is kind of a inventory situation where we had a lot, especially our hiking business and outdoor business. A lot of that product got canceled real early on this year, and we've had kind of a very tight inventory situation with some core products. I won't mention the companies. And, I would honestly say that just talking to a lot of people, the inventory shortage is, again, ubiquitous throughout the whole industry. I'm sure you guys have covered it pretty well. And it's just it's been tough on retailers, especially even the slippers, Haflinger slippers. They're fantastic. A lot of independents sell them, and we've just been having a hard time getting some of the core products. So we kind of supplemented. We added a few other lines, and when you're scrambling like that, it can make up sales. But at the end of the day, the customer is going to want to get what they want to get, and that's a tough part of being an independent. You look at the shopping behavior, people can buy anything anywhere. And our most loyal customers, if they want, a Haflinger slipper that we don't have a certain color in, odds are they're probably just going to go get it from somebody else. And, that's always a tough part. You think about what we've been through this whole year. You're not going to make up the lost sales. You just got to keep looking forward, and you got to look for your opportunities. And that's why, I said earlier, we've been looking to play the long ball and the short game too. And it's just, 100% all gas, no brakes at this point. It's just.
Now, did you, with all this scrambling, and I've heard of big companies scrambling, right, to get product, big retailers scrambling as well. Was your product mix right going into COVID in the sense that you were forecasting the right trends to take hold, or did you have to really pivot to fill in some of the gaps, not just from inventory because you couldn't find inventory, but from a product mix perspective?
Yeah, being an independent and a comfort-focused company, again, we make our own custom orthotics. We do have a solid mix of younger, more casual lines, and we're big with New Balance, Saucony on our three main athletic companies. So from a product mix standpoint, our sales reps were a total godsend. I'd say 80 to 90% of them just were going to bat for us. Oh, hey, this isn't going to sell. They canceled stuff. They put stuff on hold. So right out of the gate, going into springtime, because if you guys remember, I mean, we had the Vegas show beginning of February, and there was just starting discussions on that, and most retailers got a lot of their spring product in. So, it was kind of a weird timing perspective where, April for a lot of at least independents and most people is a really important month as a full season launch of your spring assortment. And I talking to other retailers, most people took on a large percentage of what they had. So luckily for us, and just by default, what we do, being comfort focused, we weren't stuck with a ton of inventory that just wasn't selling. And, channel diversification, being able to sell on Amazon and our own website, it's a very difficult operation, just making sure that you have the logistics in-house and fulfillment, but it's a winning proposition. So,
Hey, Tony, going forward in 2021, what are you guys forecasting? What are you thinking about as we know that vaccines are going out pretty soon? And Dr. Fauci has talked about most people can probably likely be vaccinated by spring or early summer. So what are you guys thinking about around kind of consumer demand and sales, but also interested to hear your thoughts on how you might change your storefront and what your storefront may look like in the future as you play that long ball. Is our stores going to fundamentally look different, act different as we see more people do e-commerce, or do you think the traditional way of the storefront will remain the way it is?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Considering the demand aspect, my brother and I. My brother Nick, he's my partner, and we've been at this since we were kids, and we were taking a hard look at the next 3 months. For us, the holiday season, the weekend, and then going into yesterday, it was down. It wasn't as good as what we were forecasting. We were forecasting about 15% drop from last year. That's what we were kind of targeting, and we were just at that point. Looking at how this has played out, it really is extremely regional, depending on what city you're in, what kind of government is more friendly and less friendly to business, not necessarily talking about the virus or anything like that. But, every business, every retailer could have a completely different situation and environment. We're right next to the Chicago area, and Illinois, for the most part, has been much more on a lockdown over the last month, and that's been affecting us, and it just depends on where you're at.
Right.
Looking at the next 3 months, I'm very bullish on things getting back to normal by probably April, just reading into the vaccine and how things are going to play out. But, we really got to hold on to our butts the next 3 or 4 months, because we always do a large clearance sale in January, and we did the same thing in July, but we had an outdoor tent sale. We can't do that this winter time. Just ran through all the numbers, and just the cost of operating a tent outside in the middle of January in Wisconsin, just propane alone is like $4,500. So just looking at, again, the opportunities that we have, I think that, we're buckling down a little bit more and just trying to get through the next few months by watching our costs and looking for opportunities, but also, being realistic about it. And then, talking about the storefront, this whole year for people that are going to get through this, you've really sharpened your pencils. You sat down and you said, why is a consumer going to shop with my store? Looking at your mission statement, your business plan, and looking at why does a consumer come to you? Our winning solution has been channel diversification, like what we said before, but it really is rooted, and this goes back to, like I said, my great grandpa, solving a problem. We look at pit orthics and manufacturing inserts as kind of the ultimate opportunity to help a customer. We work with local foot doctors, we work with chiropractors, we work with a lot of different people. And if you have solutions that help people change their lives and for the better, that's something that has been a winning proposition for us. And I think that at a retail level, that's something that every retailer should ask themselves. Why is a consumer going to shop with you? And, that's something that we're doubling down on. Our sales floor, we're looking at a new store location. The next sales floor, we're going to have our workshop right in front, almost like a chocolatier type experience.
I love it.
Yeah. And, bring that out. I mean, it really is the heart of our store. Why not let the consumer see that? Almost like a brewery. You see the brewery and how they make everything. That's what we're going to do next, and we're going to do it this year. So.
One of the best Italian places in DC, you have the little old ladies rolling the dough and making all the stuff out front. So I'm just saying, if you want to do Italian night, with the Chiappetta, I mean, that's Buca di Beppe right there. So you can bring them in on Italian night and feed them and have your whole workshop. You call it Santa's workshop. Santa could come in and do some work on some shoes, maybe.
Yeah, I make mean orthotics and a really good sauce, so I can't complain.
Well, Tony, one of the things we want to do now is pivot to Jasmine Pendergrass for her world famous What You Got, What You Gettin segment. You probably know this. We may have already done it with you, but I've already forgotten because we've had like 8,000 episodes. But you tell us what you're wearing now. Oh, Jasmine, you can explain it.
Thank you. So, yes, we do this segment at the end, and I always get to hear from the guys on the podcast, but I'm always interested in like owners and execs and what they're wearing on a day-to-day. So what do you have on your feet now, and what are you planning on getting?
Absolutely. All right. So I'm a big fan of New Balance Heritage. I got the 1300s in like the oatmeal taupe colorway with the orange heel to it. Really digging that one. I think they're on Bodega right now. Bodega shoe store or shop. But yeah, I've been loving my New Balances. I rock them with, my dress clothes and a tie. It looks good. Big fan of New Balance Heritage. And then what am I looking for? All right, so we've got a all-star cobbler in the shop, and we've been playing around with the idea of doing like a Birkenstock Boston, but use a Louis Vuitton upper and essentially kind of make a little baby, a Louis Vuitton Birkenstock baby. I've been looking for the right opportunity because those bags aren't cheap, and I'm trying to find like a used one that I can dig up and like do a little cobblering on. So that's what I'm looking for.
Like a Frankenstein shoe.
Yeah.
I was not expecting you to say that. That was like probably the most interesting what you're getting thus far. Okay.
Totally the most interesting.
Oh, I mean, it makes sense because I watch Tony's Grindhouse, so they like cut open shoes and look at it, and I have no doubt you guys can like cut open some shoes and start stitching them together and see what you got.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we do. We have a lot of fun in the workshop. I've got a great crew here, so it's pretty awesome.
Tony, are your New Balance your go-to shoes? What are you wearing to work most of the time?
Yeah, I've got like, I don't know, probably 20 to 30 different New Balance Heritage, different colors that rotate them. I'm a big fan of dress shoes too. I mean, Echoes are probably my most comfortable dress shoes. It's kind of my default go-to, but I try to rotate in the New Balance Heritage as much as possible. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, listen, Tony, we're rooting for you to get, have a great holiday season and have a great sales, and rooting for you and your staff and for your plans next year as you guys look to expand. It reminds me a little bit of the movie from the 80s, Secret to My Success, when Michael J. Fox says, you don't pare it back, you grow, right? You grow bigger. So we're rooting for you as you guys get through this, and as we all get through this and come out the other side, and appreciate what you're doing with Shoe Dogs United. And I think also you guys are expanding into Instagram. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, next year is going to be our 100th anniversary. We had a bunch of stuff like events planned out, which we're probably going to push back to the fall time. But the online operation, we're trying to leverage our personalities as much as possible. Our newest iteration is the Not for Nothings. It's a little video review kind of thing that we're starting to do on a weekly basis. And, we blast it out on pretty much every channel. So Chiappetta Shoes, please give us a follow. And then if you are on Facebook, definitely please check out Shoe Dogs United. It's an awesome group. We got a lot of big things coming up in the future. And we'd love to have you participate, join, and invite.
Awesome. Tony, thank you so much. Happy holidays to you and your whole family and your whole crew there at Chiappetta Shoes. And again, we're rooting for you guys as we get through this together. Folks, I want to thank you as always for listening to our show. The Shoe and Show is a footwear industry's podcast. We talk about the business side. Obviously, there's a lot of podcasts around sneakers and heels and fashion and all that, but we really drill down into the profit of the footwear industry, hopefully profit, to spread out ideas and best practices and tips to hear industry leaders from all different segments, from all different product categories, from all different areas around the country, really talk to each other about what's happening and hopefully help each other get through these times and really kind of optimize what we're doing. And as always, you can always go back to our full catalog. And even in these strange times and everybody's transforming, there's a lot of great insight from leaders who have been on in the past about the footwear industry and operations that are still relevant. But you can go to shoeandshow.com and see the entire catalog of going up probably close to 250 episodes or more at this point. And as always, drop us a line if there's topics you want us to discuss. If you have ideas for people that we should interview, let us know. We're happy to do that because this is the industry's podcast, and we want to make sure that all the voices are heard from all the different sides. So with that, as always, I want to thank our crew. And I want to thank everybody for listening. And until next time, Shoe-In is out.
Shoe-In has been brought to you by the FDRA, the Footwear Industries Association focused on retail, trade, politics, and fashion, helping create and enhance conversations on all things footwear. For information about FDRA, visit fdra.org.